Welcome to Ability Awakens, a podcast about provocative insights in the arts of therapy, behavior, and spirituality as meaning-making. Dr. Joseph Randolph Bowers here, and we're going to be exploring a relaxation and sleep induction session, and by special request, we would ask you to consider that this talk should not be listened to if you're operating any machinery or driving a car particularly, and not really recommended for people with major mental health considerations. We would hope that this exercise, this meditation will be helpful and healing for those who are so inclined and are looking for an alternative relaxation mechanism and a way to help to enter into a sleepful state. Normally what we do in hypnotherapy sessions is we don't want people to fall asleep. In a sense, we would ask you not to fall asleep, to try to resist falling asleep. In a sense, the more you try to fall asleep, the harder it might be to fall asleep. So we want to enter into an alternative state here, where the contradictions of life are what we focus on. To be as skeptical as you can, to resist the suggestions that I'm going to offer, will enable you and your unconscious to form different opinions. The unconscious mind works in an alternative space from the conscious mind. The conscious mind wants to resist, so we encourage your conscious mind to resist what we say, to question it and analyze it and mull it over, and to test its relevance and see if it works or if it doesn't work, and how much it works and how much it doesn't work, and whether or not it's working in the way that you actually want it to work, in the way that you would like it to work, in your ideal way of working. And all of these considerations can be the adjunct of your conscious mind, which works in concert with your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is the part of you that recedes behind the frontal lobes, that hides behind the conscious, logical, and analytical aspects of your being. The parts of your mind that are rooted into the unconscious, that links into your central nervous system and your spinal cord, and how that interweaves with all of the parts of your body and of your being and of your memory and of your past experiences and all of that life has brought to you and brings to you now in this very moment while you are struggling to find a space of relaxation and struggling so hard to find a place of resting and restfulness and that precondition to sleepfulness that comes to us when we are extremely tired and yet strung out in so many ways and wanting and wanting and wanting to rest even more. We'd just like to remind you that moving towards sleep is a process that begins through the day, so that we would suggest that if sleep is an issue, perhaps think about the amount of caffeine that you're drinking. Reduce that. Don't have caffeine after, say, 2 or 3 in the afternoon at the latest. And consider what you're about through that latter part of the day. We also suggest that for many people, to settle the body means that having your main meal of the day is better placed towards midday. Perhaps a large lunch would be really helpful, and reducing what you eat through the evening. The less that you eat towards the evening, the less the body has to process. The less the body has to process in terms of the gut and intestinal system, the more relaxed that the body can be. It can focus on regenerative processes. And if you move your body towards a fasted state, just generally speaking, the body is also more oriented towards regenerative and healing processes. As your body moves into that fasted state, it focuses on removing and eliminating old and tired cells and rejuvenating and creating new cells within the body system. Remember that every 7 years or so, the body completely, totally renews all the billions of cells within the system. That process happens quite often within our sleep cycles because in reality, for most of us, it's the only time through the 24-hour cycle that we're not always eating. The more that we can reduce the input of food into our systems then through that second half and evening of the day and evening of the night, the more that we can allow the body to do its healing work. Sleep is meant to be a healing state. It's an incredibly important and vital state for our bodies and our beings, for our spirits also to be able to work within our body systems to help us to grow, to help us to reach that threshold of new awareness and of the tides and ebbs and flows of our evolution at that level of spirit, of awareness, of awakening. We also suggest that you become aware of making your evening a type of ritual that leads you towards a more restful state. Put aside the technology if you can. Let go of the handheld devices. Don't keep them in your bedroom, if at all possible. Allow your bedroom or wherever you're sleeping to become a place of comfort and rest. And intentionally allow yourself a bit of a ritual. Perhaps some people like to have a bath before they go to bed. Others like to listen to soft music or a favorite album. Others may light a candle, do some meditation. Make sure that you blow out your candle before you go to bed. And to be safe and comfortable and at peace, give yourself some time to quiet down. Have a herbal tea if you're so inclined. Try not to drink anything heavy. Have some water if you need. And bring yourself to a place of restfulness and peace. And the more that you quiet the self, the more that you enter into this space of enabling the body to rest, moving towards that. But at some level, we can't force these things. We need to go with the flow at some level. And just remember that in today's world also, we have an expectation that we would sleep the whole night through. Sometimes this is a very high expectation that we place on ourselves. Our ancestors were aware and talked about and had the language of the different sections of the night. They would talk about the first watch of the night, the second watch of the night, and the third watch of the night. The third watch of the night was the early morning hours. The second watch of the night is the mid-nighttime hours. The first watch of the night are the early hours that we first go to bed and fall asleep. So, quite often, our ancestors did not expect themselves to sleep through the whole night. In fact, for various reasons, they set up watches through the night. And their expectation was more that they would have one section of that nighttime, that they would have deep sleep. They had an inherent wisdom because our deep sleep cycles are actually like time limited in a sense. We don't go into the deep sleep cycles all through the night. In fact, most of the night we're edging through the various levels of mid-sleep and of almost waking sleep, and many of us will wake ourselves even while we are sleeping for various reasons. So the body has its own internal wisdom, its clock, its circadian rhythms, and learning what that means and how we can work with that is one of the key ingredients of a sort of attitude of gratitude, a success-oriented mindset that helps us to orient ourselves to sleepfulness, to allow us to feel comfortable with the amount of sleep that we get and not feel so frustrated with that as well, because this is obviously counterproductive. The more that we can find comfort and go with the flow and nurture our being, the better off we will be. So we hope that you enjoy this meditation. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, at the end of this particular podcast, our usual conclusion of music and concluding words will be omitted so that you can simply allow the music to end and to continue to sleep. We suggest that you just place your device you're listening to this podcast on a setting that will allow it to turn itself off at the end of this recording. Thank you so much. Good night. As we enter into this meditation, seeking a time of restfulness and peacefulness, a time between the times, a time that exists beyond time, a time when relaxation is really possible, a time when the body can move even outside of the body in an out-of-body sense, connected to the world around us, to the pillow under our heads, to the cushions that hold up our body, to the mattress on which we try to relax, to the room and the air around us, and to the sensations and kinesthetic awareness of our bodies, of the skin beneath our feet and behind our legs and our buttocks and our chest and our head and neck, resting comfortably, drawing attention to what lies beyond your attention, becoming aware of a slow and deep and rhythmic pulse, to slow the mind, to slow the consciousness, to slow the awareness, to ease into a deep and abiding and relaxed state, a bit like the one that you might experience just before falling asleep, resisting this, pushing against it, realizing that the more that you push, the more this is likely to happen. The more that you do not want to fall asleep, the more it's likely to happen. The hearing and the feeling, the choosing and the relaxing, the ability to drop down step by step, to shift the muscle, to move the body to a place of comfort and letting go, a place of complete relaxation. At any given moment, one might fall asleep even while listening to the sound of my voice. One might enter into a deep and restful state, knowing fully that the unconscious can give us what we need even while our eyes are open, even while our mind is alert at the conscious level and our frontal lobes are working overtime. The deep brain, the primal brain, can work at a different level. The unconscious body systems can work at a deeper level, taking in the reality of existence, moving deeply within the tides and ebbs and flows of the ocean. The ocean of being is within us, in every cell, in the very construct of the DNA that makes up our being. The ocean of being abides within every cell, and every membrane, and every muscle, and every tendon that flexes itself towards relaxation. that moves between tension and relaxation. Concentrate only on the sound of the voice. Put aside any other thought, and yet allow those thoughts to come and go like the clouds. Admire them even, for the clouds are beautiful. Why not feel the beauty of our thoughts as they come to us? Not resisting them, but allowing them to come. Allowing the distractions to move us, to keep us awake, to keep us alert, even while parts of us relax even more deeply, even more moving into this space of relaxation where every muscle and every nerve and every cell in every part of every body is totally at ease, completely and pleasantly feeling more and more heavy, more and more heavy, yet at peace. First of all, let us draw our attention to fingers and hands and wrists. Consider the toes, the bottom of the feet, the ankles, and just allow the awareness to be there in that place, aware of any tension, letting it go, of moving and twitching of the hand or fingers or wrists or toes or the bottom of the feet or the ankles, moving more deeply into this relaxation, lengthening and loosening, relaxing and letting go, being comfortable within this very space of contentment, this very space of realization. This very space of enlightenment is a relaxing, comfortable, and considerate place to be. This is where the tides of being come together and give us new insights into the wonders of our existence. This is the very space of creativity which arises within this very time between times of alertness and sleepfulness. This is the tensing of the creative energies that are relaxing. This is the paradox and the flow of being, the drifting away, the coming together, the going towards. This is the very fiber of the being within the legs and feet and hands that melt into complete and deep relaxation. Aware now of your trunk and stomach and chest becoming more and more relaxed. Imagine the light of the sun shining warm on the skin. Imagine the draining away of tension like sand that's pouring through an hourglass, through the shoulders, neck, and scalp, into the very funnel of being, into the loose and limp and relaxed and lengthening and heavy presence of the very content and power of being. Completely relaxed, continuing deeper, heavier, sinking, floating downwards, floating further and further into this sea of oneness, allowing the rest to fall away, to be as it may be, to be as it arises, as it moves across the sky like clouds, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. If you would, at the center of your being, gently remember a special place, somewhere unique to you, somewhere that you felt at once totally relaxed and at ease. This voice speaking will count from 10 down to 1. And you will find that you will relax in this moment even more deeply with each number that counts upon the threshold of being. Complete relaxation brings peace of mind and body, but more so unites the energy of the spirit with the cells, membranes, tendons, and muscles of the body. The spiritual body connects with the physical body in this oneness of being. A complete sense of comfort emerges not of our own doing, but because this is the very fabric of existence. 10. Deeper and deeper, not even hearing or comprehending the meaning of these numbers, but of their deeper essence, the channel or energy or flow that they represent is a river of baptismal waters that flows from ocean to ocean and cleanses the planetary bodies. 9. Drifting down deeper and deeper, feeling settled, safe, secure. Relaxation emerges even where it had ceased to exist even moments before. This movement of the tides cleanses and draws in and embraces, nurturing this guiding of the self towards deep abiding wellness. 8 is guided gently downward and deeper in the spiral of being. In the great oneness, there is a sense that nothing needs to be done, for it is finished. A sleepfulness emerges. A dream state begins to surface. 7. Slower and more easily, each breath relaxes more and more. 6. Deeper and deeper, feeling heavy and tired. 5. Body relaxes even more, heavily into this space, and yet a part of me separates and moves more freely. The paradox of being allows me to be free from the body, from its restrictions and limitations, entering into a dream time where only potential and possibility exists. 4. With each word, deeper and deeper, moving into the dream time, awakening to a part of myself that has always been and must always be, that transcends the body, that moves within and beyond the body, that is part of my spiritual body, the me that is beyond the little me. For I am not the body, I am not even the mind, I am without concerns. 3. Nothing to bother me, concentrating on the sound of this voice that seems to come from within myself, allowing this voice to join with my unconscious being. The deepening point of my realization is my relaxation, my complete and total sleepfulness, doubling and feeling downwards, and more deeply into the well of being. 2. And resting peacefully now, not even needing to speak the word, not even needing to articulate the truth of the dreams emerging within me and the visions coming to me so freely and spontaneously of beautiful images and places that I would love to be, of beautiful people and times that I would love to rejoin, of beautiful and tender moments and intense and lovely sensations. I need not even speak the word, and yet it emerges. One, the oneness of being, where there are no demands, where there is only a time of silence. As I continue to rest in this place and allow the flow of sleep, my unconscious hears the sound of the voice that speaks within me, the power of my own being to issue forth the word that is life, the word of utterance that issues forth from the depth of silence beyond all that exists at the surface of being. For in the oneness there is the potentiality of all energy and creation, a regenerative, healing, relaxing movement of divine being at the center of existence, where all the Buddhas and the beings of light and all the divinities exist beyond time. And in this oneness, to be able to allow the body to repair, to heal, to relax even more, to not only do this, but to allow, to embrace, to comfort, to nurture. A quickening emerges within the oneness that brings well-being even more quickly than we can imagine. And in the regenerative power of sleep, there is complete healing. For the organs of the body are made up of the very cells and membranes, the structures of the DNA, like the beautiful crystals of the cave, and the snowflakes, each of billions of types, completely unique, one to the other. And of the very organs of the body, how they work together in synergy, and with the systems of the body that integrate and flow together, working in harmony, cleansing and moving, regenerating and sinking together through the orchestra of being, giving the music of our consciousness, giving us the music of movement, giving us the artfulness of being, and the gratitude that could only emerge in a heart that knows beyond all suffering there is this oneness which simply exists. We need not do anything at all. In fact, the doing tends to interrupt the flow. And so, letting go, emptying the hands, releasing the muscles of the feet, twitching the muscles of the body, allows us to sleep, to let go, to allow the spiritual power of letting go, like a renunciation of the ancient sage and mystic in the woods, who knows in their silence and meditation, their focusing and their discipline, they have found this space at the beginning of creation that reunites their soul and essence. And so they draw together all of creation within this great oneness. Like the waters of the ocean draw together the shores of distant continents, reaching out and cleansing the earth with their tides of creativity and spiritual power. You can imagine in the dream time the creative power of the divine essence moving within us, cleansing us, bringing us to the place we need to be in complete peace and relaxation. The sound of this voice will end shortly as the sound of your own dream time continues to flow. Allow what you have learned at this unconscious and body level to move forward within you even as you sleep. And even when you are awake, the learning can continue, whether consciously or unconsciously, at different levels of being, to give you a sense of what you need and how to get that, how to be that, and how to let go to find that. Often it is not so much the doing, but the natural flow of being. Often it is not at all the doing, but the natural flow of being, and to embrace and to nurture. This is